How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Mr. B back with a collection update today. Picked up some stuff over the last few months that I haven't shown yet, so showing it now. Quite a bit to talk about, so I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to pretty much get straight into it. First up today is Iron Maiden, The Number of the Beast. This is the recently released 40th anniversary cassette edition. This is the first cassette I've got in what must be the best part of 20 years. Yeah, I don't need to say about this album, of course you know it. An absolute classic, of course. Favourites on this for me is Invaders, which a lot of people don't like for some reason, but I think it's superb. But Children of Damned is another track that's underrated, doesn't get talked about enough. The Prisoner, fantastic stuff. Hallowed Be Thy Name, obviously the title track. Great album, nice to get this on cassette. Still in the shrink, don't know whether I'm going to unwrap it or not. But yeah, nice thing to get in a collection. Got that from the missus for my birthday. Superb stuff, and nice to finally have a cassette after all these years. On to some CDs now. I'm going to kick off with some Britpop, and this is Supergrass, and it's called The Strange Ones. This is the best of. As always with Britpop bands, this is all I need. Just the best of will do the job nicely. Great stuff on this, like Pumping on Your Stereo, Sun It's the Sky, Richard III. Absolutely love that song. Learned to play that for the covers band that I'm in. Other great stuff in there. Caught by the Fuzz, All Right, everyone remembers that song. It was absolutely everywhere in the summer in 1995, I think. Lenny's really good. Late in the day, I should say. Yeah, good stuff. A nice cheap pickup from Music Magpie. Bit of Britpop in the collection. Just the best of. That's all I need, so it's all good. Up next, everyone will know these guys. This is Consecration, and their 3-track CD, Reanimated. Nice stuff from these Death Doomers from Norwich here in the UK. Obviously feature Mr. Liam, the Death Doom metalhead, on the guitar. 3 Death Doomy tracks with some huge riffs in there, pounding drums, really nice low guttural death metal vocals. Enjoying this one, giving us about 3 or 4 listens. Good stuff. Looking forward to the album when that finally comes out. Got to send thanks out to my friend over in America on Instagram, Mr. Scuba Steve. He often sends me sort of stuff to check out, and I was completely unaware of these guys, and they're absolutely amazing. This is Maul. This is their album. I think it's just self-titled, actually. This is brand new, come out in January. If you're not familiar with these guys, this is traditional heavy metal, old school traditional heavy metal. These guys from Canada. Superb stuff. This is really, really good. Thank you, Steve, for the recommendation. Just brilliant, brilliant stuff. If you're into traditional heavy metal and you're not familiar with these guys, check them out. Really, really good. Musically, it does what you're expecting it to do, kind of Maiden, Priest, Saxon, that kind of thing. But the singer does sound a little bit similar to, is it Russ Anderson from Forbidden? So normal kind of heavy metal vocals, but there's a little bit of Russ Anderson about him. And this is a superb album. Evil Eye, Ritual, Summoner, my favourite song of the album. The vocals are fantastic on this record. Great riffing, great harmonies, great solos. It's just a great old school heavy metal album. Sword Woman, Father Time, We Ride, 9 tracks, great stuff. One of the best finds of the year so far. Thanks again, Steve. This is superb and I'm absolutely loving it. That's Maul from Canada, old school heavy metal. Check out if you're not familiar. Some more old school sounding heavy metal. This is the most recent album from Eliminator, who are from here in the UK. Great stuff. First listen, I was like, yeah, it's okay, but yeah, repeated listens reap rewards, and this is a superb album I'm really enjoying. Probably going to grab the vinyl when it comes out. I don't think it's coming out until this summer. But stuff on this like Silent Stone, Ancient Light, The Library, Mercy, The Nightmare of Eon. This is great, old school traditional heavy metal, really, really good. Production's fantastic. This record sounds phenomenal. Bass nice and high up in the mix. Love the sound of the guitars on this. Very good vocals again. Great band. I only discovered these guys last year, and I'm glad I did. Really, really good stuff. Really enjoying that one. That's the latest one from Eliminator. And that's called Ancient Light. Good stuff. Deathfucker, what a great name for a band. And this is their album, and I can't remember what it's called. Firespawn, yep. Mark G with the Sea showed this a while back, and I liked the sound of it, so I jumped online and bought it. And it's fantastic stuff. Thrash metal, death metal, some brutal vocals going here, some great riffing, really nice sounding album, not overproduced. I like the production on this. It sounds quite raw and not overproduced, you know, but it's superb stuff on this. Title track's great, Damnation Strikes, Plague Descends, Hail Predator. Great riffing, really fast, quite nasty sounding. Superb stuff, really enjoying this one. Completely unfamiliar with these guys before I picked this up, but really liking this, and hopefully get some more stuff from these guys at some point. Really good. 6 CD set. This is Gorefest. I can't remember where these guys are from. Somewhere over in mainland Europe, I think. This is Nuclear Blast. 6 albums. I only listened to the first 2, to be honest, at the moment. At the moment, I'm heavily doing my homework for my best albums of 1993 video, so I've not listened to a lot of stuff that's come in recently. But the first 2 albums on this are really, really good. Excellent death metal, great riffs. Enjoying the vocals. Albums sound good, well produced. So Mind Lost and False are the only ones I've listened to so far. But really good. Looking forward to checking out the rest of it. One of those bands I've been meaning to check out for a long time, but never actually got around to it. And I've finally jumped on the train, and it's all good. This next one is Wretched Inferno. This is really, really heavy. It's called Decayed Butchery. I picked this up at the same time I picked up that Deathfucker album. This is superb stuff. Death metal, thrash metal, some grindcore in there as well, definitely. Brutal vocals, great riffing. The drums are good, although I do have an issue with this album, and that's that sometimes the snare drum on this album is barely audible. In some of the songs, particularly during the blast beats, you just can't really hear it sometimes at all. So whoever mixed this didn't do the best job. But it's an enjoyable album overall. I didn't absolutely love it. It was a decent listen, but yeah, not bad stuff. Got it for a good price. Definitely worth checking out if you like your stuff really, really heavy and nasty. Plug in some holes in the Skeletal Remains collection. This is Beyond the Flesh, an album I've been meaning to pick up for a while. Really good stuff. Like this a lot. Not familiar with these guys. Vocally, the guy really sounds like Martin Van Drunen, but the guitar, the music is nothing like Asphyx. It's much faster, whereas obviously Asphyx is sort of more mid-paced or death metal. Technical stuff, great musicianship on this. Guitars sound great, nice drumming. I love the vocals. I like Martin Van Drunen, so I love the vocals, of course. But there's good stuff on this, like Desolate Isolation, Sub-Zero Termination. A good death metal album, really enjoying this one. Only quite new to these guys, known about for a couple of years now. I've been meaning to grab this for ages, so glad I finally have. That's really good. And whilst I got that, I grabbed the other one I was missing from these guys. And this is Condemned to Misery. This is a really good album, giving this about 3 or 4 listens. Good stuff. Yeah, it's exactly the same as the previous album. Similar sort of style, you know. More great stuff on this, like Beyond Cremation. Atrocious Calamity, Sleepless Cadavers, good death metal. I'm really enjoying these guys. Glad to finally have everything they've got so far. Good stuff. If you do death metal and for some reason you haven't checked these guys out, give them a listen. Jerry Cantrell, Boggy Depot. This is from 1998. Jerry Cantrell, of course, from Alice in Chains. If you know me and you know my channel, you know I love Alice in Chains, one of my favourite bands. And this is one of those ones I've been meaning to pick up for absolutely years, and finally got it now from Music on CD, as you can see. Sean Kinney from Alice in Chains on the drums on this. Great stuff. I absolutely love Jerry Cantrell. Dick Eye's a great track. Cut You In, that's a really good song as well. Break My Back, Jesus Hands, Satisfy, stuff like that. This is great. If you're into Alice in Chains and you haven't got this, then I highly recommend picking up. Quite similar to what he's doing with his full-time band, of course. That's really good. I remember hearing Cut You In on a CD I got through with Metal Hammer in about 98. And I remember thinking I need to pick that album up. And 24 years later, I've finally got around to it. Sepultura, and this is Sepulquarter it's called. This is basically the Seps re-recording a lot of our old songs with a load of special guests on it. Not listened to this one yet, but the pedigree of musicians that are appearing on this is fantastic. You've got Scott Ian on here, Danko Jones, Phil Rind, etc, etc. A lot of Seps old stuff re-recorded with guests. Yeah, not listened to it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome and can't wait. And something I didn't really need, but I grabbed it because it was really cheap. This is the best of Sepultura. If the Max Cavalera stuff is your thing, and this is what you want, great sort of a CD of all their best known stuff from the Max era. Great stuff on it, like Beneath the Remains, Inner Self, Arise, Dead Embryonic Cells, Territory, Slave New World, Attitude, Bruce Bloody Roots. Those are the only 2 songs I like on the Roots album. A nice cheap pickup. Didn't really need it because I've got everything already, but sometimes it's nice to have all the big songs just on one CD. And now 3 from the same band. Another band I've been checking out for absolutely ages. Finally got around to it. These guys from Canada. This is Exciter, and most of you know these are, of course. They're quite legendary. Heavy Metal Maniac. I think this is from '83. Much respect to Dan Beehler for the fact that he plays the drums and sings, because it doesn't sound easy, it has to be said. This is old school sounding heavy metal, kind of proto thrash, I think, really. Really good stuff though. I'm loving these guys. I'm glad I finally got around to getting these albums. Stand Up and Fight is a superb song. Heavy Metal Maniac, great track. Under Attack, Rising of the Dead, Black Witch. Superb album. So glad I finally got around to pulling the trigger on these albums and picking them up. Been meaning to for such a long time. Violence and Force. This is from '84, I think. Another great album. This is really good. Title track superb. Pounding metal. Bit cheesy, but still a great song, no doubt about it. Swords of Darkness. Saxons of the Fire. War is Hell. Another great traditional sounding old school heavy metal album. And last but not least, I picked up Long Live the Loud as well. This is from '85, I think. All 3 of these are really good. Fallout, great track. Long Live the Loud, title track's really good. Beyond the Gates of Doom, Sudden Impact. I'm so glad I finally got around to picking these albums up. Been meaning to for a long time. I got all 3 of these for pretty good prices, so hence I got all 3. And really, really good stuff. Traditional heavy metal, great riffing. Like I say, Dan Beehler's drumming is great, and he sings as well at the same time. Very talented guy. These guys are still around now. Really good stuff. Really, really glad I finally got around to picking these albums up. Superb stuff. Old school traditional heavy metal, which is really, really good. And last but not least, a few records. KK's Priest. Love this so much when I picked up the CD around Christmas time that I decided to pull the trigger on the record. Got it for a good price as well. Record prices have been a bit silly recently, but these are all decent prices, so I picked them up. This is a really good album. This really lived up to my expectations. I was really looking forward to this. It hasn't disappointed. Yep, there's some cheesy lyrics on it. Some of the song titles are very cliche, but who cares? The music's great. The album's great. Tim McBrain's fantastic on the vocals. Great riffing, of course, from KK. Just a superb album. Absolutely loving it. Hellfire Thunderbolt is superb. Sermon of the Sinner, the title track, is great. Raise Your Fists is good. Wild and Free, stuff like that. Glad I picked this one up. Good old black vinyl, just how I like it. And yeah, a superb album. Up next, death metal, and this is Suffocation, and I can't remember the title all of a sudden. Despise the Sun, nice EP from these guys, 5 tracks. If you like Suffocation, you get Suffocation. These guys don't let you down. This is superb stuff. Got it for a nice price. Funeral Inception, the first track, is just absolutely great. Despise the Sun's great. Blood Churn's great. Of course, the riffing from Terence Hobbs is fantastic. Frank Mullen on the vocals, easily one of my favourite death metal vocalists. Great EP this, 5 tracks, good stuff, really enjoying it. And I grabbed this because at the time I was looking for something else, which I'm going to show now. And that is an album I mean to pick up for ages. Metal Mickey had this on his Facebook a while back. I thought, yeah, I've never got around to picking it up, and I finally got off my arse and done it. This is Pierced from Within from 1995. Great album, really, really good. I mean, those early Suffocation albums really are superb. And to be honest, they're still making good music now. But Frank's no longer in the band anymore. Of course, he's retired, which is a shame. His vocals in this are, of course, fantastic. Great riffing, drums are superb. Title track's great. Thrones of Blood, I really enjoy. The Invoking, Brood of Hatred. It's great stuff. Really good album. Really should have got around to picking this up a lot longer. Unfortunately, it's on horrible piss yellow vinyl, but you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. As long as the music is good, that's what matters. Yeah, I just prefer black vinyl. Came in one of those horrible paper sleeves, hence I've switched it out for something much better. Good album though, really enjoy this one. Some excellent death metal from Suffocation, Pierced from Within from 1995. Another one I picked up on CD around Christmas time, and I had to grab the record because it's a great album. This is definitely one of my finds of last year, this band. A lot of people talking about this band, a lot of people were showing it, and this did not disappoint at all. This is Bewitched and Cursed Be Thy Kingdom. Superb old school heavy metal. To me, it sounds a little bit like black metal with the vocals. A bit venomy sort of music-wise, but played better, of course. Great stuff. Really enjoying this one. Title track's great. Metal Burner, Death Returns, Electric Phantoms. Great album. Such a great find. Everyone was talking about these, and rightfully so, because they're really, really good. Looking forward to more from these guys. Really good stuff. Really, really enjoying this album. And last up today is a reissue of Cancer's The Sins of Mankind from 1993, which is now, I think, gets massively overlooked. Don't get me wrong, it's not as good as the two that come before it, but it's still good. But people hardly ever talk about this. I'm lucky to have an original press of this, but because I picked up the recent reissues of To the Gory End and Death Shall Rise, I grabbed this one as well. Really good album. Cloak of Darkness and Electroconvulsive Therapy, first two songs are fantastic. Meat Train's good, Suffer for Our Sins, Pasture of Delight at the end. Excellent death metal from here in the UK. Really enjoy these guys. Good riffs on this. Drums are very good as well. Fantastic stuff. Printed in a sleeve. Just an underrated death metal album. And comes on horrible brown vinyl. But there we are. Yeah, great album. Doesn't get talked about enough. Yeah, not as good as the first two, but definitely still decent and definitely worthy of having in your collection if you're into death metal and for some reason you haven't got it. An album that I really like and I think is underrated. Cancer's The Sins of Mankind from 1993. Superb stuff. Right guys, that's it. Cheers for sticking with me. Hope you enjoyed that. Be back with you next week. Next week is my 100th video on the channel, so don't know what I'm going to do yet. But it's going to be all good, whatever it ends up being. Cheers for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch up with you next time. Look after yourselves. Take care. See you soon.